Boss Watch is a segment that we do every single week where we take a look at what bosses are up to, particularly in the southern United States. In North Carolina last week, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is inviting male job applicants who were not hired by Kickback Jack's restaurants in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia to contact the federal agency for possible inclusion in a sex discrimination case, the federal agency announced last week. On September 25th, 2024, the EEOC filed a lawsuit in federal court in Greensboro, North Carolina, against Battleground Restaurants and Battleground Restaurant Groups doing business as Kickback Jacks for failing or refusing to hire male applicants who applied to non-managerial front-of-house positions, including server, bartender, and host positions, since December 2019. These alleged employment practices violate federal civil rights laws. Male applicants who sought employment as a server, host, and or bartender with any of the defendants' Kickback Jack's restaurants in North Carolina, Tennessee, or Virginia, but were not hired or who were hired into a different position may be claimants in this lawsuit and are encouraged to contact the EEOC at the phone number or email address on their website. Now, this is interesting for a few reasons. For one, I've read a lot of these EEOC press releases, and they usually have a specific behavior related to at least one individual, even if they use it as an illustration of what is happening to a broader class of folks. This doesn't seem to be the case here. I don't see any specific action that is alleged, so that's interesting. And secondly, I also wondered if this is a sort of Hooters knockoff, and so I Googled them, and I can't tell for sure. I did find a couple of staff pictures where it definitely looks like all the servers are women, but they were not like scantily clad in the same way that Hooters is. So if anybody is in North Carolina or Tennessee or Virginia, I'd be interested in hearing if this place does like try to be a Hooters knockoff, in which case I wonder if the position of the EEOC now is that the Hooters business model is illegal because it discriminates against men, potentially. I'm not sure. It's an interesting case that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on. There's another case out of Georgia where CPG Staffing and Executive Personnel Group are paying $60,000 to settle a disability discrimination suit. Those companies assign employees to construction industry clients, and they agreed to pay $60,000 and furnish other relief to settle a disability discrimination lawsuit. What was alleged is that the companies rescinded a welding applicant's job offer after learning from a post-offer medical questionnaire that he had injured his knee on a job 2 years earlier. Before disclosing the prior injury, from which he had completely recovered, the applicant successfully passed a welding test. The welding test involved climbing ladders and crouching and crawling on beams. The applicant indicated he could perform the essential duties of the welder job, did not require a reasonable accommodation, and provided a letter from his physician clearing him to work. Yet, the company's risk manager instructed the company not to hire the applicant because of his prior injury. CPG Staffing, in turn, rescinded the applicant's job offer. That conduct violates the Americans with Disabilities Act, and so the EEOC filed a lawsuit. In addition to the $60,000 in monetary relief, the 2-year decree requires the companies to provide their employees with specialized training on the ADA's prohibition against disability discrimination and more. And finally, Union Busters. This segment of Boss Watch, Union Busters covering national updates, is sponsored by Labor Lab. Labor Lab is an employer watchdog organization. They are committed to safeguarding the right to organize through unions, collective bargaining, and mutual aid. They do this by combing through reports that Union Busters are required to file with the Department of Labor. These are last week's most recent filings. Amazon hired Pantera Consulting without providing their compensation. Marlene's Natural Foods and Deli in Washington hired Davis, Grimm, Payne, and Mara for $400 an hour. Workers still won their union election 40-0. Amazon in Nevada hired MCM Labor Advisors. Western Montana Mental Health Center in Montana hired LRI Consulting Services for $425 an hour. There is an active union election. Amazon in Illinois hired Progressive Labor Solutions. That filing is for work done in 2024. They did not report their hourly rate, but they did file their 2024 LM21 and reported making $42,000 from Amazon. In addition, the following filings were amended. Tyndall Consulting amended their filing for Amazon DAX5 to add their compensation of $2,000 a day, and Greer Consulting amended their filing for Blick Art Supplies to add their compensation of $1,500 a day. Workers lost that union election.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.